Thank you for joining today. I wish I could talk in a British accent the whole time, but my costume is on the screen. Professor McGonagall from Hogwarts. With me today is Hedwig, and we are going to be doing a review over Unit 1 and Unit 2 for extra credit. And it's going to help you prepare for something that is very important tomorrow. Okay? At the end, we will share Halloween costumes. So for now, so that we are not distracted by one another, I'm going to turn off our videos for right now. Okay? Before we get started, please help me cheer and be happy for Apollo, our student of the week. Apollo, do you want to say anything before I share your presentation? Okay. Well, I'm going to put his presentation in the chat if you would like to watch it on your own, but I'm also going to play it on the screen. It is a little bit laggy, which is big bummer because he worked really hard on it. So if you click the link, you can go watch it, probably lag free. If you would like to watch it here we go. Oh, Apollo, first I got to make you. Apollo is a moderator right now, so he can see your questions in the question box. If you want to ask him any questions today throughout class. Okay, here we go. He made his presentation on Canva, and it has music and everything. It's amazing, so enjoy. Thank you, Apollo. That was amazing. Again, the link for his presentation is in the chat, and it will not probably be as laggy for you because, excuse me, because you are not trying to share it among everyone. So please, if you have any questions, let him know in the chat. Apollo, if you feel distracted, you can ignore them until the end. But here we go. And remember that if you would like to be student of the week, please send me a slideshow about you. And I'm happy to help you with that during Help Lab on Thursday if you need some help with that. Okay. Today, you need something to write with if you want to get extra credit. So real quick, if you're planning to get extra credit, go grab paper and something to write with. If you just want to listen, I am recording this so you could go back later and do all of this on paper if you would like, if you don't have any right now. Gigi, do you have a question? Go ahead.
I'm going to go get my paper real quick.
Yeah, feel free. Yep, everybody go grab something to write with and write on. You will not get extra credit without turning in your work from today, and I'll explain that in just a second. But you do need to write while I write today. Okay, communication guidelines, always the same. I have webcams turned off for right now other than me and Apollo, just so we're not distracted by each other during this. Remember that if your webcam is on during a recording, it will probably show up in the recording, so just know that. At the end today, I'll give you a few minutes to share your Halloween costumes if you would like. Thank you guys for being here today. So our review is for what's called the interim. On your schedule for tomorrow, you're going to see interim checkpoint, part 1 and part 2. Okay. If you've already taken it, wonderful. You can still earn the extra credit today. Okay. Hopefully, if you didn't take it yet, okay, this will help you prepare because we're going to be going over all of these topics today by doing some review questions together. Okay. If you did it, great job. CJ, I'll answer that question at the end, bud. Okay. Remind me though, because I might forget. But again, if you've already taken it, you still can get extra credit from doing the review today with me. Okay, for now, I turned off the classroom chat. But if you want to talk to Apollo, ask him any questions because he is student of the week, you can put it in the question box. And I will also be checking that as well. Okay. So thank you for joining. You need a piece of paper and something to write with so that you can earn extra credit today. So here's how you do it. Look at this cute little guy or girl. In order to earn extra credit, we are going to do 14 questions today. Okay. When we do those 14 questions, anything I write on the screen, you're going to write on your paper. Okay. Once we're done today, if you've done all 14 questions, work, answers, that kind of thing, okay, you can either email, text, or Skype a picture of your paper, and you will get 5 extra credit points. That's a lot. That's like a free 100 on a quiz. Okay. Excuse me. So in order to get extra credit, you have to put this on paper. So you need to get paper. And at the top, you can put unit 1 and 2 review. And whatever I write, you write. Hi, Eric. Hi, Aiden. I know you guys just joined. We're doing a review today. No worries. And it is worth extra credit points if you complete it with me. So go grab something to write with and something to write on. And this will be an hour long probably. Hi, Addison. So if you need to leave early, Michael, I am recording it. Okay. That is fine. Thank you, Eric. I'm Professor McGonagall. Can't you see the resemblance? I even have Hedwig here. He's visiting. Hedwig's a girl, actually, which I didn't know until I saw trivia, and then Harry Potter says she in the movie or in the book. Okay, so if you do need to leave today at 1:30, you can watch the recording later, and you can finish the review. Okay. Eric, Aiden, Addison, you guys, I don't know if you heard the directions. In order to get extra credit today, you have to write with me on your own paper. You can email, text, or Skype a picture of it. and you will earn 5 extra credit points. And this is to help you review for the interim checkpoint, which is due tomorrow. Okay. If you need to do it a different day, that's okay, but it will be overdue until you complete it. It goes over all of these topics, and we're about to start right now. Number 1, put on your paper, 1,056 divided by 30. So Gigi, if you don't do it on paper, you won't get extra credit. But if you want to do it later, I'm recording this and you can do it later. If you want to just take pictures, that's fine, but you have to actually write it on your own to receive credit. Does that make sense? Okay. Here we go. On your paper, I want you to write this at the top, just to make sure you know that those are the same things. Okay. Inside this, and 30 goes on the outside because it's the second number. Yes, Gigi, you have to send me pictures of your work. Sure, Michael.
Maybe it's in part 2.
Rhea, did you have a question, sweetie?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you, there is, in my quiz, it's not showing the same exact questions.
No, this is not the test. This is just a review.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your turn.
Yes, Michael, I will. Gigi, that's fine. Then, I mean, this is not mandatory. This is only optional if you would like to earn extra credit. Does that make sense? Okay. So, guys, also one other thing. I'm so sorry for coughing. I have a cold and it just can't help it sometimes. Okay, I need to explain this again. You guys are very confused, I think. This is an extra credit review. These are not questions from the test. Okay? I am doing an interim review today so that you can review all of these topics for this test here. You should not be in the test right now. This is not the test. This is a review for the test. Does that make sense? In order to earn extra credit, if you want to, it's totally optional. If you want to earn extra credit, the 14 questions we're about to go over, you have to write on your paper what I write on the screen. So you're doing the review questions on your paper. When you're finished today, once we do all of the 14 questions, you can email, text, or Skype pictures of your paper to prove that you did the review. Then you will earn points. If you don't want extra credit, you do not have to do this. This is not the test. Okay. This answer on the test might say something like answer as a mixed number. So make sure your answer is a mixed number. Okay, here we go. And I am recording this if you need to watch it later. Okay. 30 cannot go into 1. 30 cannot go into 10, but 30 can go into 105. And it can go into 105 3 times. 3 times 30 is 90. Okay. Now I need to figure out what is left. So I'm going to subtract. And I'm left with 15. And I bring down my 6. Michael, you can do it your way if you would like, bud, but you do have to have work for every question to get the right answer, to get extra credit. Okay. 30 goes into 156. You have to think about how many times. I know that 3 times 5 is 15. So 30 times 5 is 150. And I'm left with 6. Okay. Because this says answer as a mixed number, you're going to answer as a fraction. So the way that works is there's your whole number, 35. 6 is your numerator, and 30 is your denominator. Okay? The only other thing we have to do is simplify, because 6 and 30 can both be divided by 6. So when you're answering a fraction answer on a test in the class, you want to always make sure that your fractions are simplified. So this becomes a 1, this becomes a 5. My final answer, I'm going to write it in black at the very bottom, 35 and 1/5. Okay. You may not answer as a decimal if it says mixed number. The computer will count it wrong. Okay, the computer will count it wrong if it says mixed number. That means a fraction. Okay, I'm going to go on. I know some people may not be finished, but I can't wait a super long time for each question because I want to get through all 14. I'm recording this, so afterward you can scroll back through the recording to get what you didn't quite finish. So if you haven't finished number 1, give yourself a little bit of space on your paper and then go down and we're about to do the second question. You do not have to write this, but if you want to, you can. You just have to write what I write, okay? This says a home repair service company earned $990 performing annual inspections. They charged $55 for each inspection. How many inspections did they perform? So our total, for this one, we're taking a total and we're dividing it, okay, by the price per inspection. I'm going to put IN dot. So that means we're doing 990 divided by 55. Okay. Apollo, it was 1/5, 35 and 1/5. Okay, so 990 goes underneath. 55 stays on the outside. Okay, so 55 can't go into 9. It's too big, but it can go into 99, but only one time. Okay, 2 times would be 100 and something. So 1 times 55 is 55. I subtract, and I'm left with 44. Bring down my 0. If you just joined, we are doing a review for the interim checkpoint that is on your schedule for tomorrow, and it goes over everything from Unit 1 and Unit 2. And if you're copying down with me, you can send me pictures of your work today and earn extra credit. Okay, 55 goes into 440. How many times? Let's think about 55 times 8. Because I know 5 times 8 is 40. So let's see. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4. Look at that. Yay. Perfect. it goes into it 8 times exactly, which means nothing remains. So they perform, somewhere on your paper, your answer is 18 inspections. Okay. So make sure you have that on your paper. Jonathan, it's a review. It's not a test. So unit 1 and 2 review. Okay. Going on to number 3. Again, I'm recording this. So if you need to go back and finish this one up after a while, you will be able to. Number 3, at the top of your page, or for number 3, put GCF of 49 and 84. Okay. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to factor both of these first. 49, I think of 7 times 7. Both of those are prime. So I'm done. That's easy. 84, I think of 7 and 12. Excuse me. 7 is prime, so I'm done. 12, you can do 2 and 6 or 3 and 4. It doesn't matter. 4, I can keep going a little bit more. Okay. And I've ended every branch because I have all prime numbers. Okay. This may have a question. Okay. Everything I write, guys, you write. So everything on the screen in green, black, or red, please write that on your paper. Okay, Bobby, you're right. The only thing they have in common is 1, 7. So there's not even anything to multiply because they only have one number in common. So the GCF of 49 and 84 is 7. If they were to have another number in common, like 2, then you would do 7 times 2. But they only have one number in common, so the answer is 7. Any questions about that? Again, if you have to leave the meeting because of iGlobe, I am recording this so you can finish it after a while. I'll send this out in an email in a little while, the recording. Okay, number 4. Prime factorization of 56. So jot that down on your paper real quick so you know what number 4 was. Prime, Michael, this is for you before you leave. Factorization 56. And so Michael said earlier, this is what he needed help with. Michael, all we're doing, bud, is factoring this out. Okay. So when I think of 56, I think of 7 times 8. 7's a prime number, so I've ended that branch. 8, you got to do 4 and 2. 2 is a prime number, so that branch ends. And then 4 is 2 times 2, and those are prime numbers. So those branches end. So Michael, the prime factorization is when you write all of those in a multiplication problem like this. 2 times 2 times 2 times 7. That is the answer right there. And one thing to keep in mind, guys, for prime factorization, the word prime is in there. All the numbers have to be prime numbers. So if there's a choice where one of the answers is not prime, you know that's not the right answer. Okay? Any questions about that? Michael, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much. I was really struggling on that.
Of course. Of course. Again, if you guys have to go because of another meeting, I'm recording this so you can finish the review up in a little while. Okay, if you didn't quite finish writing, I'll come back at the end or you can watch the recording. This time I want you to write on your paper LCM of 6 and 8. Now, multiples, guys, is when I'm multiplying by 6 and I'm multiplying by 8. This is not factors. Okay, so when you see LCM, you're going to write the multiples of 6 and the multiples of 8. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, da, 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 da. And it goes on forever. Thank goodness we're finding the least common. What if we had to find the greatest common? We couldn't because numbers go on forever. Okay, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, da, 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 da. The least common multiple, the first number in both lists. You're right, Gigi and Bobby, 24. So the LCM of 6 and 8 is 24. Perfect. Thank you. Any questions about that? Just remember that M is multiple, F is factor. If you have iGlobe, have a great day. Make sure you watch the recording later. Apollo, thanks for being Student of the Week. Okay, number 6. We're rocking and rolling. Apples come in bags of 4. Oranges come in bags of 6. What is the least number of bags each person has to buy to have the same number of apples and oranges? So that little keyword means that we're finding the LCM of 4 and 6, because think about it. Excuse me. If apples come with 4 and oranges come with 6, one bag would be 4, then 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and it goes on forever. You could buy all the bags in the world, right? Oranges come in 6, then 12, then 18, then 24, then 30, on and on forever. You could buy all the oranges in the world. Okay? The first number that they have in common, that's what they want to know. What's the least number of bags? 3 bags of apples will give you 12. 2 bags of oranges will give you 12. So the correct way to answer this question, guys, I'm going to write it in black over here on the right. 3 bags of apples. And in parentheses, you can put 12 so that you have 12 apples. 2 bags of oranges. Ooh, that's a fancy G. Which would be 12 oranges. So the answer is not 12. Okay. 12 is the number that they would have of the same, but look at the question. What's the least number of bags? So technically the correct answer is 3 bags of apples, 2 bags of oranges, so that you have 12 pieces of fruit each. Okay, so just make sure you're always answering the question. Excuse me, I'm so sorry for coughing. Sometimes these can be a little bit tricky. So just always, always, always make sure you're going back and thinking, does that make sense? So Gigi, the question says, what's the least number of bags they would buy so that they have the same number of apples and oranges? The same number would be 12 and 12. But Gigi, since apples come in bags of 4, that's 3 bags of apples to get 12, right? 4 times 3. But then it's just 2 bags of oranges because 2 times 6. Does that make sense? So the answer is 3 bags of apples to have 12, 2 bags of oranges to have 12. You're very welcome. Okay, number 7. Which expression uses the greatest common factor and the distributive property to rewrite 32 plus 80? Okay, so what we need to do, guys, is put the GCF here, and then the numbers that go inside are the numbers that you multiply the GCF by to get 32 and to get 80. So go ahead and write this on your paper. And then over here on the side, I'm going to factor 32. And then I'm going to factor 80 so I can find the GCF. Okay, so 32. I think of 4 and 8. 4 can be factored to 2 times 2. 8, 4 and 2, and then 4 again, 2 and 2. So total, I have a bunch of 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. With 80, there you can do it a couple different ways. I'm going to do 8 and 10. And I'm going to run out of space, but I'm going to try to make it work. Okay, so far I have 3 2s. And then 10 is 5 and 2. And those are both, yikes. Here we go. Those are both prime. Okay, what do these numbers have in common? Let's see. Okay, they both have a 2. They both have another 2. They both have another 2. And they both have another 2. So they have 4 2s in common. The others don't count because the other 2 factors are 5 and 2. Those don't match. So to get the GCF, you're doing 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. What is that number? Do you guys agree that that's 16? Okay, so the GCF is 16. Well, 16 times what gives me 32? Look at this. What's the number that we didn't use yet? A 2. That goes here. And what number did we not use for 80? 5. That goes here. But also, you know that 16 times 5, or you could figure that out, is what gives you 80. So your answer is this right here in red. And I'm going to delete that because that's too bright or too much. Let's try it like this. There we go. So 16 goes out front. 2 plus 5 goes on the inside. If you wanted to check your work, make sure that 16 times 2 gives you this number, 32, yes. 16 times 5 gives you this number, 80, yes. Check. Okay. We're halfway done. And there's a few of these coming up. They're not going to take us very long. So stick with me. Thank you for your perseverance, your good questions. Gigi, because 6 times 2 or excuse me, 16 times 2 is what gives you 32. Also, that's the other factor down here that we haven't used in our factor tree. And 16 times 5 gives us 80. And that's the other number down here as well in the factor tree that we didn't use. Okay. On your paper for number 8, I need you to write this right here. I'm going to rewrite it so that you know I want you to write it. 4 and 11/16 divided by 1 and 1/4. We are going to divide fractions. But before we can, we have to make all of these, both of these, improper because we can't have a whole number. So we got to change them to improper fractions. The way that you do that is you multiply your whole number times your denominator. And then you add your numerator to that. So it's going to be something over 16. 4 times 16 is 64. Okay. Plus 11 is 75. Is that right? Yes. And then the 16, your denominator stays the same. Okay. And then 1 and 1/4, same thing. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So dividing by 5/4. But I'm going to keep, change, and flip my second fraction. 75/16, change to multiplication, and flip that. Now I just have a multiplication problem. So you're multiplying across the top, multiplying across the bottom, and then we will have to simplify. Some people may know how to cross simplify. If you do know how to do that, it'll make your problem a little easier. But because of time, I don't really have time to teach that right now. But if you're interested in learning how to cross simplify, we can do that during Help Lab. Okay, 75 times 4 is 300. 16 times 5, we know that from the last problem, is 80. Okay. I know I can divide both of these by 10 and knock off a 0. So now I need to simplify 30/8. So come over here. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can do it in your head and think, how many times does 8 go into 30 without going over? 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. That would be 6 remaining to get to 30 out of 8. Yes, Andre?
I need to write some stuff before you go to the next one.
Okay, buddy, listen, I'm also recording this. So later you'll be able to click on the recording and you can scroll to the questions that you need to finish too, okay? Okay. I know I'm going kind of fast. Last thing, guys, these can both be divided by 2 to simplify all the way. So my final answer is 3 wholes and 3 fourths.
I have a roof being fixed right now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I bet that's very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can always do this tomorrow too if you need to. Okay.
Oh, it's fine.
So the answer, guys, is down there, highlighted in yellow. Yes.
Excuse me.
Hi. Yes, I didn't see your hand. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. So are we gonna go through each of? So at the very end, are you gonna show all the numbers of the problems again?
Yes, and I've recorded this whole thing. So in a little while, the recording will be available and you can scroll through to see all of the ones that you didn't get all the way. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll email out the recording today too.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go on to number 9. If you're not finished, again, I can go to it at the end, or you can watch the recording later. Bobby, you have a question?
I was just wondering how many questions were there left.
There's 14 total.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, listen, number 9, I'm not going to work it out because of time, but I am going to talk about how to set it up so that if you see a question like this, you know what to do. Okay, so for number 9 on your paper, just write what I write. I'm going to read it first. Jessica is filling glasses with water. Each glass holds 3/5 cup of water. She pours 4 1/5 cups of water into the glasses. How many glasses does she fill with water? So remember, with division, we always have a total and we always have kind of what's called maybe like a part or a piece, okay, the smaller amount. In this problem, the total amount of water she has is 4 1/5. And she's pouring it out in 3/5 cup at a time. So if you were setting this problem up, this would be your first number, the total, and you would be dividing it by 3/5. Okay? I'm not going to finish this one because of time. So this is all you have to have on your paper. Okay? We're about to go on to number 10.
Can I write down this before you go to number 10?
Yeah, do it real quick. You don't have to write the typed words, just the words that I wrote. Okay. Andre, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, number 10. You do not need to write all of this. Just listen. I'll tell you what to write in a second. Josh collects rainwater in 2 barrels. Last week, 1 barrel collected 1.46 gallons of rainwater. The other barrel collected 0.751 gallons of rainwater. What was the total amount of rainwater that Josh collected last week? That word total should tell your brain that we're going to add, okay? So we're doing, write this down, 1.46 plus 0.751. If you were having to show your work, remember that when you're adding decimals, you need to line up the decimal points. So the 0 goes under the 1, the 7 goes under the 4, 5 goes under the 6, and then there's a 1 over there. And so since there's nothing above it, you can put a 0 there. And now I'm just going to add. That's 1, 6 and 5 is 11, so I carry. 7 and 4 is 11, plus 1 more is 12. And then 1, 1, and 0 is 2. So you're right, guys. Thank you. 2.211 gallons. Great job.
I'm going to write the gallons down.
Okay. We're about to go on to 11.
Okay, you can go now.
Okay, this one we are subtracting. Now, I want to do this one because a lot of people are, Well, this one's actually pretty nice and neat, but let's talk about it. The first number has to go on top. So put this one on your paper like this. The second one has to go underneath, and you have to line up the decimals. So 78 goes under the 19, and 618 goes under here. Okay, now listen to this. I've seen some mistakes. People are telling me that 6 minus 8 is 2. No, no, no. You have to do 6, but you have to borrow because 6 is too small. So this becomes a 2, and you're regrouping and giving that 6 a 10. 16 minus 8 is what you're doing, which is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down your decimal. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 minus 7 is not 6. You have to regroup and make that an 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. And 1 minus nothing is 1. So here's your final answer, 141.218. Great, great job. If you have to go, no worries. This is being recorded so you can finish it up later.
Okay, so I'm finished writing it down, so you can go to the next one.
Okay, Andre, listen, from here on out, just, you don't have to tell me, bud, okay? Thank you.
My mom and brother's outside. And my
Okay.
mom and brother are outside talking to the guys.
Okay,
They're hammering really loud on the phone.
yeah.
Yeah, because our the roof was leaking in our house.
Oh,
So we're
no.
just getting.
Okay, let's keep going. Number 12. One bottle contains 16.5 fluid ounces of shampoo. How much shampoo is in 2.3 bottles? So guys, we're multiplying here because this is 1 and we need to figure out more than 1. So we're going to be multiplying these numbers here. When you multiply with decimals, you don't line up their fractions. Their decimals, but sometimes it happens and that's okay. And this one they do. But you really just need to line up the digits. Okay. And now I'm just going to multiply like their whole numbers. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 plus 1 is 19. 3 times 1 plus 1 is 4. I'm putting a placeholder down because I'm scooting over to the 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 plus 1 is 13. And 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3. And now I add everything up. 5, 9, 7, 3. And in the problem, there is 1 digit, 2 digits behind the decimal. So there should be 2 digits behind the decimal in my answer. So it's 37.95. Two more questions and we're done. Thanks for sticking with me today. You guys are doing great. Okay. We are dividing. The first number goes underneath. The second number stays on the outside. But remember that I have to have a whole number out there. So I'm going to be scooting this decimal over, which means I have to do it underneath as well. And then it goes straight up through the roof. Okay. How many times does 52 go into 2? Can't do it. Into 24? Can't do it. 247, not quite 5 times, right? That would be 250. So probably 4 times. Let's check. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Woo. 208. Okay. 7 minus 8, I can't do it. I have to regroup. 17 minus 8 is 9. 3 minus 0 is 3. There's nothing to bring down, so I'm going to put a 0 here and bring that down. I want to go at least 2 places after the decimal, if possible. Okay, how many times does 52 go into 390? At least 6, maybe 7. What is 52 times 7? Okay, that's 14, 35, 36. Good job. Thanks, Silas. And I'm running out of space. That's a 6. And that's a 2. And then you can bring another 0 down. 52 into 260. Oh, you know what? It's going to be 5 times exactly. I'm going to do the math over here. That's 10, 25, 26. Look at there. I'm done. My final answer is 4.75. Okay. Okay, we're almost to the last question. If you're still here, you're a rock star. Thank you. I know this is a lot. Okay, we're just going to talk about how to do this one. We're not going to actually work it out. So 14, you're just going to write what I write. Zach has $52.30. He spends $12.50 to buy a new toy. Then he divides the remaining money equally among 2 piggy banks. How much money is in each bank? So actually, I changed my mind. Let's just do it real quick. It won't take us long. This is what he has. If he spends it, we're subtracting that out. Okay, 0 minus 0. I can't do 3 minus 5, so I'm regrouping. And that is 8. I have to regroup again here. That is 9, and that is 3. So he has $39.80. If he divides equally among 2, I'm taking $39.80 and I'm dividing it by 2. Your decimal goes straight up. Okay. And now we're just doing 2 goes into 3 one time. I'm left with 1. And then I have 19. 2 goes into 19 9 times. That's 18. Left with 1. Bring down 8. 2 goes into 18 9 times. 18. 0. 0 comes down. 2 goes into 0 0 times. I'm done. Each bank has $19.90. Amazing job. Very, very good. And since it's money, I do want to have that 0 in the ones, like think about money. Okay. Okay. If you want extra credit, everything we did today, everything I wrote for the 14 questions, you need to write. Don't worry, you didn't have to write all the questions, but you did have to show your work and provide your answer like I did. In order to get extra credit, you have to send me pictures of your work, either through email, Skype, or text. And I will respond to let you know that I received it. and I'll let you know where the points go. Okay. Questions.